Hello YouTube and welcome to another Moto Vlog coming at you live from Sterling, Virginia, sitting on my couch like always, oh yes, whatever, and we are watching me riding a buddy's WR250R, and we are riding it here at Peters Mill Run, and we will be doing a complete riding of the entire way going out and then the entire way coming back, almost until maybe 3 minutes are left at the end. Like just this part we're going through right now is left, and then it's gonna be the whole thing. So I mean, as you can see, this video is supposed to be an hour and 29 minutes and 20 seconds long. Holy moly. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. I'm sitting here and really hoping that I can pull this off in a single take. One and a half hour long take. I kind of doubt it, but let's give it a go. I've tried putting my microphone a little further away from my mouth this time. So I hope that, you know, works and makes things a little better. I'm like, you know, a little less sensitive microphone going on, you know? Yeah. So, to the topic at hand of riding motorcycles at Peters Mill Run. If you have seen any of my videos before, you know that my off-road skills are lackluster, for the most part, I would say. I have a kind of an ego problem. I don't know if the ego problem's the right word. I have a confidence problem. Definitely, and I will explain that as we go on, because I think it's a little more complicated than I have too much or too little confidence. I think it's like I have both, too much and too little at the same time, confidence. And my skills are just not great. Clutch and rear brake stuff is just not my forte. I wonder, I think the big question on your mind might be, do I fall in this video? Well, you're just gonna have to wait and see. You may be pleasantly surprised, or maybe you won't be. I don't know. We will find out what ends up happening. It's again, as you know, my off-road skills aren't that good. This is a decent bike for this road. I believe it has, I don't know exactly what tires it has. It has some kind of, you know, WR250 adventure tires that are fully inflated for road use. So I think honestly, pretty decent setup. You know, they're not dirt bike tires, and they're at the same time they're not street tires, so they're fine for the conditions. It's really me, and I will explain as we go on. I don't want to reveal everything right away, you know what I mean? So as you can see, I'm doing, if you don't know much about dirt riding or whatever, I guess I'm just kind of leaving him room, because I want to just go up there in one shot. I don't want to have to stop while I'm going up this little hill here, you know? So, if any of you also have watched my videos, you may or may not know that I haven't done any actual real dirt bike riding in a long time. So let's see how this goes, now that we got to an actual very easy obstacle here. Oof. Not pretty at all. I think we're going to see a lot of unpretty riding. Oh my god. All in all, I would say this is a pretty easy trail. I think the problem is just me, really, you know? Not comfortable with the bike, never ridden it before, not really comfortable with my skills, which is way more important, right? If I was a skilled rider, I'd be able to hop on pretty much any bike that works, which this one does, and be fine.
Oh, shit, yeah.
So there's another small obstacle, so to speak. There's just a lot of ruts here, and the road's all, it's hard to see, but the road's angled towards the middle. I should just ride right up the middle. Like, what am I even looking at? Why don't I just get in that rut in the middle? It's not even that deep. And just ride up that, call it a day, right? Right up the middle there where all the rocks are. But for some reason I want to avoid that rut. I don't know why I'm doing that.
Fuck.
I'm scared of the rocks. I'm timid, you know?
Yeah.
I'm not using the rear brake correctly there. That's why I'm sliding backwards. I'm on the front brake, but because the rear is free to spin, the gravity's pulling me down, and the bike's just sliding backwards on the front brake. See right there? The bike's sliding backwards on the front brake, and wow. Look at that. Almost fell there, right? I mean, a little bit. Stalling this thing over and over again. I'm not used to the bike. This is like trial by fire when I've done any low-speed practice on this bike. You know?
Fuck.
I've ridden a WR before, but not a ton. There's a video of me doing it. That's like the only time I've ever ridden a WR before. Maybe one other time. I don't think I ever did a lot of parking lot practice. I did the one, there was like this one drill where you're trying to do, there's like a timed part. There is some clutch work there. And I remember I was really bad at it, and I wasn't very, oh my gosh, I almost fell there. You can see that. But yeah, I wasn't happy with the clutch, so I'm not used to getting this right. I need more practice to get good with this. I'm getting there though. I need to keep the revs up. Like what I'm doing wrong, I actually kind of got a lot better by the end of this video, and you'll see that. What I'm doing wrong here is I'm not keeping the revs high enough. I'm not, you know, going fast enough. This bike wants to plow over these things with some level of speed. And I need to, yeah, just keep the revs up. The low revs are not going to work. This is a heavy bike. I'm a, you know, heavyish person. So the bike needs, you know, a lot of power to keep going with the gearing it has. Like this bike has really tall gearing for this type of trail, in my opinion. I couldn't get out of. I mean, I could maybe have tried shifting the fourth at like one point. It would have been dumb, and I never did it. So I stayed in first through third this whole time, this whole video. I never went the fourth, fifth, or sixth, which I think is, I guess, normal, but that's crazy. I mean, the whole road you never leave third gear, right? So your gearing's too long. You know what I mean? That's always, oh yeah, this is where more problems are. Rocks, going too slow, you know what I mean? Going too slow. It's embarrassing, this section. It's gonna get quite embarrassing, guys, so let's get ready. I'm just kind of speechless. This part was just tough, because right, oh, well, I wouldn't say right at the beginning, but you know, we're only 7 minutes in, and all of a sudden, I'm just, you know, things get hard. From what, about five minutes in, you know? And again, I mean, this is not a difficult sub. I still say this is an easy trail. It's just, I'm not good enough to handle all this. I haven't ridden dirt bikes in so long. The last time I really rode off-road is on the channel, and I didn't look it up. I don't want to do it now that I'm recording, even though we have so much time to do it. It doesn't matter. It was this place up in, I'll just describe it. Maybe you can find it and post it in the comments. If you're this nice person watching, it doesn't matter. I went up to Pennsylvania, and there was this off-road park with all these windmills all over the place, and I rode there with my CRF. That was the last real time I rode the CRF, and it was fun. But even then, I was like, dude, this is just ridiculous. This is too much for me. It's a lot cheaper than riding on the track, which I stopped doing too. But it's a lot cheaper than riding on the track doing this stuff, but I don't know. It's kind of scary. After what I went through with my shoulder, I can't imagine having to get medical attention out here. Oh my god. Are you kidding? I think the one upshot is there are cars coming through here. So it's not the worst thing. It's not like, you know, being screwed out on single track. I just don't want to be involved in that, you know. You can see there. I mean, there are steep cliffs on this trail, and so, not right here, but in certain places. Ooh, see, I'm going slow, so now there's gonna be problems, right? I'm going slow, so we know this is not gonna end well. Yep, I had to call it, right? I did kind of, you know, take my time going through.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I took my time going through the footage, watched it a little bit here and there, and kind of scrolled through slowly. And what I've done here is I've tried to remove, coming up, all the spots where we stopped and like pause for a second to talk or catch our breath or whatever. Mostly just to talk about what's going on. And yeah, I removed all that, but otherwise I kept everything in. Yeah, our first spot where we pause is going to be after this rocky section disappears. There's really only this one kind of sector that we're in right now. This is the only sector that's this bad. Like, sure, there's rocks here and there, but not nearly this bad. And see, this isn't. Now I'm looking at it here, it's not terrible, but what's happening here? I've come to a stop in the rear tire because it's kind of like a 50-50, or I'm just in I'm in a bad spot. You can hear me cursing. I'm pissed off. And see, I'm not going fast enough. Like, I should be going faster. You know, I need to have more confidence with the bike and really just get it up on the rock, let the bike do the work. But I'm scared. I'm straight honestly. I haven't been off-roading in years, and now it's just like immediately you're doing this right from the start, right? There's no warming up much. And so now here I'm off the bike, letting it down. See, I know what's going on at this point. Gotta get the momentum going. Or do I either that or I go around. I can't remember what I do. Get back on the bike. Stalling my ass off. I don't know why I do this. Like, I'm always with the revs too low, you know? It's a serious problem I think I have. Rocking the bike, trying to do something here to get, I think, backwards more. Again, trying to build up more speed or go around this stupid rock that's killing me. Yeah, here we go. And I still stall. Oh,
come on! Dude, this is so deep.
I see the other guys there now are waiting for me because I'm like so bad at this. So now it's on they're on Surons, which are electric bicycle they're like motorcycle, dirt bike, bicycle things. Kind of a hybrid of everything. Like, they're kind of a hybrid of a dirt bike and a mountain bike with an electric motor. It's more dirt bike than anything else, but it's like kind of scaled down if you maybe think of like a 100cc dirt bike.
This bike is not made for this shit.
So they're pretty cool. Like, you know, they have a lot of instant torque. They can get around here like super easy. No clutch. Can't stall it. Yeah, I'm complaining. I'm super pissed, right? So, I mean, the reason I'm so scared, I think, is I hurt my knee. I don't want to put myself in a position where I'm going to fall and hurt my knee.
I'm too much of a pussy for this, man. I might just turn around and go home. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm complaining, right? Oh, man. Discouraged. Let's see how this goes.
Nope. There's not enough grip. There's nothing.
Yeah,
I did nothing.
Yeah, you could hear it there. I was actually giving it some revs for the first time, right? And the bike just starts sliding backwards because there's no grip. I got to get a lot of momentum, you know, and keep it going because there's like, it's steep there. And now
No.
I got this guy helping me push a little bit behind, and I think that's really helping me. That's what I'm saying. I'm just not that good. And I almost fell there, but I didn't. I can't believe it, right? So here's gonna be our first pause.
Dude, I don't know.
Right?
Oh my god.
Yeah. What are you gonna do? Maybe not suck. That's what you're gonna do. So now we're going again. We pause for a minute, you know, and or whatever. Doesn't matter. And now we're going again. So I'm pretty, yeah, I mean, discouraged. You'll notice that I'm making this, right, when this video is going to be released is a week after it was the date on the title here. So I'm a week out recording the audio here from when I actually did this ride. And I wanted to do that this time. It was really easy to edit this all together tonight, but I wanted to wait. Mostly because I was busy, but mostly because I don't know, I felt like I needed to cool off after this. I don't know, dirt biking to me is strange. I'm not sure what I want my relationship to it to be. And this is like, again, this is easy dirt biking. This is like a Jeep trail, like that's like an easy Jeep trail. Not a lot of rocks. It's nice and wide. Everything is pretty straightforward. And yet, like, I'm having all these problems, like, right from the start. Now, that was, like, the hardest part of this entire trail, but you'll see how I get going the rest of the way on the easier parts. And then again, on the way back, how I handle this section after all I have, you know, a lot of time of riding, like an hour of riding to build up my confidence. How do I feel then? So you can try skipping around. I mean, if I wasn't a complete asshole, I would put a legend, right? And like maybe try to put highlights in here. No, this is more like a podcast. It's a vlog, like a podcast. It's a video podcast format, pretty much is what's going on. You see me tiptoeing again, like I'm like a slightly baby deer still in some spots, but I'm moving along at 2 miles an hour. One thing I will say, again, I'm a little nervous on this trail specifically, but all trails like this is a two-way road that cars and jeeps and like trucks and stuff can use coming the other way, like right here. There'd be a truck coming right at you. So I try not to go very fast. Like I've done it, I think on the CRF, I went fast enough to jump the bike a little, which was ridiculously stupid. Oh my god, especially no, I'm just not doing stuff like that. I guess if you're good and you don't care, like, but again, we're in the middle of nowhere here on the side of a mountain. Like, we are on a mountain right now, and we're doing all this. I don't know. I want to take it a little easy so that if there are any problems, hopefully I'm on the trail wherever I end up, right? I don't end up off to the right there. Like, God help you. And again, that's why I always say, you know, I feel like you want to do these things, either have like a GPS tracker or.
Oh, I'm not going on that. He's crazy.
Yeah, heading down that alternate path up there.
This thing always stalls.
Yeah, I'm really bad with the clutch on this bike. Yeah. It's kind of funny. No, look, this is easy. I'm looking at this, and it's like, okay, there's a little drop there. Like, why am I nervous about this? What is happening right now? Just ride over it, plow over it. If I had a little bit of speed, the bike wants to go straight and stay upright. Just have like, you know, 5 or maybe, you know, 7 or 8 miles an hour, 10 miles an hour speed. Just do it. Rip off this stuff. I don't know. I'm just nervous. I don't know if I trust myself. Like, if I get thrown around on the bike a little bit, what's gonna happen? Am I gonna whiskey throttle or do something stupid, hit the brakes when I shouldn't? I don't know. It's a little frustrating. Like, it stinks to me that like I've already gotten frustrated a couple times in this video, and we are only like, you know, 17 minutes in. I need to make it big. I said from the start I was gonna do that, so I can actually see what's going on a little better, but I obviously have a good enough idea. I'm still going slow. See, like, I should be going faster than this. It'll make everything so much easier. I'm like literally like making this so hard on myself for some reason. And I think in this moment, I remember what I was thinking. I'm still recently enough that this is the speed that I thought was safest, which is, I think, by the time I'm coming back, I realize now that the thinking I had at the beginning of this, it was ridiculous. I'm going so slow. Why am I doing this to myself? I mean, I guess it's good practice to kind of feel the bike's balance a little bit, but like, yeah, the bike isn't very. It's a heavy enough bike that it doesn't want to go that slow. It wants to just plow over this stuff with maybe, you know, again, 10 miles an hour, 15 miles an hour. Then it's nice and smooth and easy going. I'm really worried about making sudden direction changes and things, or maybe hitting one of these big rocks. And again, the fact that the road's so narrow, your vision here is obscured going around these bends, these corners, right? So again, I'm worried about anything oncoming. Just, oh my god, so much stuff. I don't know. Do I have a rant topic? I feel like I'm stalling, right, to have another topic to talk about. Maybe that is what it is. I don't know how much what I have to say or want to say about the, you know, more under the surface philosophical aspects of what's going on here. Mostly with myself, because I'm not sure personally, like, what I want to do. I mean, I guess people who know me know, but like I've sold my dirt bike. Like, I don't have a dirt bike anymore, and I bought this thing telling myself I was going to keep it like forever, but the reality is, for me, like this kind of riding, what I'm doing right now, I tried my best not to think it at the time, but I don't know, this might be like one of the last times I do any kind of real dirt biking, for a while at least. I'm not sure, I'm not saying that like, I'm like, oh, I'm not going to dirt bike, it's just, I'm not really going to put it out there for myself. This is, I don't know. I think I've had my fun with this kind of stuff for a while. I'm such a beginner at it, that there's so much to aspire to here, like with the dirt biking in terms of skill and knowledge. With dirt bikes, I feel like it's a very, I don't know, I almost feel like you need to make a very ritualistic thing, like going to the track or something. Like your bike, as soon as you leave the dirt bike place like this, you get your bike home, or even before that, you want your bike to be clean, and then you can have it at home nice and clean, and maybe inspect it and get it ready for the next trip, and then you take it out here, get it dirty, yada yada. So that's all well and good, but it's just not something I think I was able to handle. Really caring for I did my best to care for the bike properly, and I think I did a mediocre job. Like the bike was in really good shape to the person I sold it to, but I didn't ride it that much, and I left it sitting for such a long period of time. When I gained all that weight, and even up the weight I'm at now, the bike is it's such a good bike, and there's so many things I could have used it for, but I would have had to spend all this money to make the suspension decent, for me at least. Or I could have just ridden it on stuff like this, but the thing is, I just don't know if this is what I want to do. I'm worried about trying to improve in this area. I feel like a lot of risk to me doing this type of riding. And I'm not sure what it is. I guess because I've gotten hurt twice now riding off-road and doing this off-roading stuff. So like literally like the worst injuries I've ever had are the shoulder, right, on the GS, and then the right leg from the American Super Camp. So I don't know. It's just a difficult thing. You can see me going faster. So just to be a little back in the moment here, you can see me going a little faster on the bike. That's interesting. So I think I decided there to give it a go. And now it's starting to feel, I think immediately I'm like, hey, this actually feels pretty good doing this with a little more speed. But now look, on my left, I'm not looking and trying to pay attention, but it's not that steep there, but you can tell there's like a pretty decent drop off in certain places. Like right here and stuff. It's much steeper, right? If you fell off there, it would have been not a fun time for you, right? But it's a pretty easy road. You just got to keep it going. See, again, I'm taking these lines. I'm trying to avoid the rocks, like really specifically, because I just had all those problems, I get it, I guess. The tires I'm dealing with again. I'm gonna keep using that as an excuse. It's not an excuse. It's just I wasn't comfortable with the feeling that I was getting. I had the grip, I think, for the most part, but it just wasn't. It didn't feel great to me. I'm more used to riding with low PSI on off-roading. Like off-roading, like with the higher PSI, like you get a lot more slip, Like when the front pushes out from time to time, if I feel like I'm going a little faster, want to change directions kind of quick, it's like immediate slippage of the front. And again, with the rear, I mean, you saw it slipping a couple of times, like with inclines and trying to go over stuff. Now I've had that happen to CRF too, so it kind of just is what it is, but I'm just not too, I would say it's mostly the front. The feeling is different, I guess. Because there was a lot of weight on this bike. I'll say that for sure then, because there was a lot of weight on this bike. And the rear, I mean, I wasn't using a lot of power, but the rear was like, it did feel planted enough. Like I wasn't really scared to go to the throttle. I was definitely scared to go to like the front end of this bike. And I felt like, yeah, I was gonna, if anything was gonna happen in terms of like a low side or whatever, it definitely be at the front, pushing me out, and maybe like a low side, hopefully a low side, right? From that, and I don't hit my head on anything. That's one thing that scares me out here too, right? If you fall wrong or in the wrong place where all those rocks are, man, you could really hit your head on a rock out here, right? Oof, I don't want to do that. Even with a helmet, you hit your head on a rock hard, it's not gonna be a good day. It's gonna be a really, really bad day for you. And you still have to get off the mountain, you know? Get to a hospital if you need to or whatever. It stinks, man. I guess I'm complaining a little bit. I'm not trying to, you know, get any sympathy for myself or anything like that. It's just a decision, you know. You give something a try, and sometimes, you know, it's the right thing for you, and sometimes it's not. And maybe one day dirt biking will make sense, but I don't know. It was fun. It's a thing to do, you know. And I still have the GS, obviously. There's another little pause we took, but I still have the GS, obviously. I like that bike, and I don't think the GS is going anywhere. We'll see, but I don't think it's going anywhere in terms of getting sold, at least. Or you know, I'm saying I'm not, you know, knock on wood. I don't have any plans or any ideas about getting rid of it. I don't know about the scooter. We'll see about the scooter. I may have it, I may not. Just because the market for used bikes is so ridiculous. Like, I like the scooter, but man, if I can make a few bucks on it, I don't really need it, you know. If I can literally sell it for more than I bought it for, like, it's kind of hilarious. It might make sense for me. I don't know. It's interesting for sure. I've tried looking into it. It's a fairly rare bike, which is why I'm hesitant to sell it, even if the value is going to plummet, and this is like the most I'll ever be able to get for it, which it might be. I don't know. Even if I sell it, it's going to be hard to get another one like in a couple years, even for any amount of money. So I'm just thinking, like, the scooter, it's going to be such a reliable runaround bike. Like, it's such a simple machine. Like, very little amount of electronics. I don't think my insurance thinks it has ABS. I couldn't tell it that they didn't. So that was easy enough just to let that go. But I don't think the bike has ABS. I've never triggered it, at least. I've tried a couple times in, like, the parking lot. It just, I don't know. The forks, I don't know. The brakes on that bike feel terrible. Like, the front forks dive and, like, just bottom out pretty much all the way. Or they get to this state where they just don't feel good, and the bike kind of shakes a little bit. Ugh. And then, you know, the rear stabilizes it nice. It's a very, oh, wow, that was close. You can see the bike pushed hard there. And I even said, I'm like, Jesus Christ. It just slid right down the hill because I wasn't going fast enough, right? If I'd been going faster, it would have just bounced over it. Okay, I know there's a pause here. We kind of F around in this little open area for a minute, so I just skip all that. Skip all of that. That's what's going on. And now we're moving again. Hey, I'm still one take. I mean, I could be lying to you, but I'm not. And we're still on the first take. That's crazy, right? I'm going a little better now. You can see I have, like, some confidence. The road is so much more easy here, right? Like, any bike, you could ride like a Hayabusa on this, and it wouldn't be that bad. It would suck. And I don't know if I would go this fast, but you could make it happen, you know? It's wet, but it's not like it's such a hard packed surface that even though it's like mud, it's not like bad, you know? It's not that wet. It hadn't rained in a while. It just, as you can see, it never really gets that sunny here in a lot of these places. And a lot of water can build up. See, again, I feel like I'm going too slow. A little faster, and I'd be so much... Like, what am I doing here? Like, are you kidding? Are you kidding? Oh my God, Sterling Moto, what are you doing? Making stupid noises is what I'm doing. Making noises. With the GS, I'm up for my next major service, which is interesting. Getting a lot of, really easy work done. Just valves and fluids and stuff, whatever. Hopefully that goes okay. The only issues I'm having with the GS are that some of the lighting, there was like some aftermarket wiring and lighting done on the bike, and it's not all working perfectly. Not a big deal. Yeah, these guys, they will make an appearance later in the video. Interesting. They look so fancy. That's like I watched that part a couple of times. Like I just don't know. KTM's obviously, but it doesn't matter if it's 2-stroke or 4-stroke. They look pretty official, I guess. They're riding pretty fast. Not that fast. I think those are really like the only other bikes out here we saw. We're gonna see a decent number of cars, but as you will see when we continue, you won't see a lot of bikes. I don't think we see any other bikes besides those two guys, or guys and girls. I don't know. I think one might have been a woman or a younger person. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. I'm being weird. I wasn't paying attention then or now. Right. So now you can see there, I'm being a little more aggressive with the throttle, but I'm still slowing down. As you can see, I really have that hang up, and I don't know if I want to get rid of that hang up.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, there. Okay, so that didn't look like anything, but there was like maybe a 2-foot drop that I just dropped over. Like I saw it coming and tried to slow down, and then immediately, like right before I got there, I released the brakes, and then I like fell down it. And you can kind of hear it a little bit. I got pushed forward. Yeah, I braced and everything, so it wasn't that bad, but it was scary enough. So I was like, that was the first time. Right now, I was starting to get some confidence there, right, and go a little faster. And almost immediately, like it's like, no, I got warned real hard by that little drop. Like something real bad could happen if you outride your sight lines, even a little bit here. Now I don't think there's anything really. That was like kind of like there was that one, and then I think of one other one, that right back to back from each other almost, and then that was the only kind of situation like that I think where like one side of the road was safer, really a lot safer than the other, if that makes sense. I don't know. I feel like that might be my problem. I'm like trying to read for like the best line in the dirt when I really should maybe roll with the punches a little more and just worry about maybe having a, I don't know. I think I'm really bad at selecting lines out here and selecting my speed and stuff. I don't know what it is. Like it's definitely my dirty, rotten, human instincts getting in the way of the way it should be. But I guess I don't really have the knowledge of what to do, so to speak. I definitely think it's like an intuition thing, right? I mean, obviously I think in the dirt, like, rule number 1 is like, try to turn as little as possible.
What's this guy doing?
But rule number 2, I think...
Stop or what?
Oh yeah, he's doing some weird stuff here. Oh yeah, that's right. I think he found out his tire pressure was... He realized his tire pressure was lower than it should be. I don't know. We did not check our tire pressures because we're stupid. I even brought tools, but when I got there, I was excited to go, and I just went, like, stupid. I would have aired this. If I had checked the tire pressures, that bike would have had more PSIs, and this bike that I'm on right now, I'd definitely have had less. I definitely would have, if it was, I guarantee this is up in, like, right by 30 or something. I definitely would have lowered it to, like, 25, 24 PSI, or maybe, something like that. I'll laugh if that's what it was, but yeah, I would have definitely wanted to be maybe like 25 PSI and then go from there. I mean, it's a pretty heavy bike and decent road tires. You don't want to get a pinch flat or something, but, especially with all these rocks. But still, less PSI makes it just, for me, it's a better feeling like as a beginner, because I know I'm only riding on this surface here. I could do more, I guess, but... I'm probably wrong. I'm saying this out loud and thinking about it. I'm like, I don't know. I'm not an expert at how much pressure I really should be using. It was fine. Like, honestly, anyone who was a decent rider would have been fine or done way better than me. I'm not saying, hey, and if you can't do better than me, maybe I'm like, you think I'm saying you're not a decent rider? I mean, maybe you're not. I don't know. I'm starting, the more I've been riding now, I realize maybe the standards we have for ourselves are a little low. And I've been saying that for a couple days to myself before making this, and I think, I don't know. You may know who you are if you're watching this. You may not. Other people may know. I don't know. I may have just, sparked something in me. And I guess it's something I want to say without saying, right? It's just, I think, who did I say this to? Yeah. Okay, yeah, I was saying to my buddy when we were doing some stuff, and I think having any kind of crashing, I think is definitely something like that's. It's almost unacceptable to me. It should be like it's like any crash you have is like a potentially fatal situation. You know, if you're going 3 miles an hour and you tip over, okay, yes. I mean, the potential is almost zero. It's absurdly stupid. It's like the same potential as like if you trip while walking through a grassy field, you know, on a nice Sunday stroll. If you're fully geared on a motorcycle and tip over at 3 miles an hour, you'll probably be all right. Or even, you know, whatever. But you never know. Something bad could happen and you could fall weird and hit your head, right? But it's very unlikely. It's just, I don't know. And I've had tip overs, so many tip overs, like down on dirt bikes, and street bikes, and everything. I was just thinking about, like, even earlier today, maybe I think just today, but I have so many, like, tip overs and crashes and stuff. Nothing, thankfully, I've never gotten anything too serious on video, but, like, or been involved in anything too serious, but man, I've gotten at least, what, a dozen crashes and tip overs of myself and other people, you know, on video. It's wild. I've fallen so many times. I've definitely fallen off motorcycles like at least 40 times now since the last time. I mean, the last time I fell off a bike was at American Super Camp back in May. So I haven't fallen since then, and that's funny to me. Now I'm saying it like it's been 3 months. I'm like, oh, I haven't fallen in 3 months, and it's like doing this. I can't believe I'm saying that. Like you saw what I was going through before with this, right? I was struggling so hard. I mean, obviously I'm not any better now in the video, but like I was struggling so hard with the clutch control, right? I cannot keep this bike through these like lower speed maneuvers, and I'm going too slow. So I'm struggling with the clutch control at the low speeds, and I'm going too slow, requiring way more effort than I need to be, and using way more, requiring more clutch control than I have, really. It's stupid. It's just stupid. So, I almost tipped over a couple times. I mean, you saw it, right? Like, I was really off kilter at, like, a weird angle. I'm tall. Like, the only thing that kept me from falling was the fact that I'm tall. If I was, like, 5'5", done, I would have been on the ground. 100% guaranteed. Or at least the bike would have been on the ground. I probably would have been, too. But who knows? It's like, you want to land on the bike, at least, right? At least I know that, but I'm scared. Like, the last thing I want to do, it's only been 3 months. Like, the doctor, I think, said 4 months is how long it takes the knee to heal, and it still feels like just a little bit like I can feel it. So it's not as free moving as the left, and that's partially my fault because I don't think I'm stretching it and I'm exercising it a bit, but I'm not an athlete. I don't work out like an athlete, and I'm stretching it, but not again to any real extreme levels. I'm not really stretching the knee. I'm stretching, you know, with all my legs and stuff. I'm not that flexible because I'm not like pushing very hard. I'm trying to just take it easy. So it's about that. I think this is a good part. Pretty straightforward here, right? I feel like this is a more boring, easygoing part now, and kind of ranted over and over, but about the riding aspect. So I'll talk about, you know, I've lost a lot of weight, right? So now I'm riding here. I may be weighing it like with all my gear 200, 205 pounds. It's pretty good. It's still pretty heavy for these bikes, not gonna lie, but not, you know, ridiculous. I think that's still within a pretty acceptable parameter, but it's definitely up there. Like a bike like this, if you really get any kind of optimum, and it's not so much all the suspension in this, that is part of it, but a lot of it is, you know, unless you're like, say, 200 pounds and like an athlete at 200 pounds, and so that's like all muscle, and you're like, you know, 15% body fat or less. I mean, even 15% is kind of a lot for what I'm talking about, but like, you know, unless you're athletic, riding a bike like this at 200 pounds, like, and actually doing it pretty well would be pretty challenging, I think. It takes a lot of athleticism to ride these dirt bikes fast. I gotta admit, I'm not interested in that. It's kind of funny to me. I like riding as a sport, but I guess I'm more on the spectator side of that sport, maybe. Like, as I appreciate it more, I feel like I appreciate dirt biking and just riding in general a lot more doing this, but I just don't know if it's something I want to pursue really at all. And I don't know. it's a shame. I feel depressed about it, like saying it out loud. Like, I don't know. I think I've sort of told people this, but I just, like, as once as I was earlier, basically coming out and saying, like, I don't know if I really want to even do, even if someone comes to me and is like, hey, you want to drive out and do this, Peters Mill Run or another, you know, easy trail like this, hey, you want to do this on my bike? I might say yes, but I don't know. I don't know. I'm definitely probably going to say, like, I'm not really sure if that's something I'm all that interested in right now, you know? And if they maybe push me, maybe I'll give it a try, maybe I won't. But yeah, I'm nervous. I just don't want to get hurt. I'm not that skilled at it. I feel like even just riding around, like this very slow pace that I'm riding, yeah, he lets me by. So see, you can see my pace has gotten higher, but even right now, I'm definitely riding at what I consider to be a very slow pace. So even at this pace, I'm not skilled. I don't feel like I'm really skilled enough to be really confident in anything, that I'm not going to do something stupid and fall. Are we going to pause here? I think we are.
This thing is in the neutral.
Oh yeah, I tried to, like, you know, I was in neutral when I thought I was in first, you know what I mean? That's what I was complaining about there. So we're going again. Yeah, that's my problem. Like, I feel like there's just a lot of risk here. Which is funny to say, like, there's a lot of risk riding a motorcycle in general. In a lot of ways, I feel like dirt biking is safer. If you go at a low to moderate pace and you're skilled, I think this is actually pretty safe stuff. The problem is, if you're skilled enough to make this safe, then you're going to want to go faster. You're going to want to actually, like, I don't think there's a speed limit here. Like, yeah, this is like a government road, but, like, I don't think there's a whole lot of, like, rules about how fast you can go out here. I think really it's just be smart. Don't go too fast. Like, again, like, you can see that how it builds up here on the sides. You can go fast. Like, it's just how much risk are you willing to take for yourself. Like, if someone's coming the other way too and going too fast, that's something I really worry about, like, on a bike. You could have a head-on collision with two motorcycles on this road pretty easily, I feel like. This is not a road. We'll say that. This is like a trail. You could have a head-on collision on this trail, I feel like, pretty easily. Going around these blind corners. So I'm just taking it easy. You know, I know I could go, even at this point, I know I could go a lot faster, but I'm just like, I don't want to do that. It's not something I'm interested in. Funny enough, maybe I should do a little WR review. It's like, I have so much going on in my head when I'm riding right now. Like, again, I haven't ridden dirt in so long. I'm just trying to survive. So when I was doing this, I was not thinking about reviewing the bike. So let me just think about my thoughts here. First off, the clutch, yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the way it works. I feel like the friction zone is really small, I guess. I don't know. It's really bitey right off the bat, which is fine. I mean, there are definite positives to that, especially with this type of bike. So it's not the worst thing in the world. It's just I'm not used to it. I feel like with the kind of clutches on the bikes I'm on, which they seem to have a much wider friction zone, I'm more used to that and kind of getting deeper into the clutch, into the friction zone, like with more travel of the lever. And I mean, I keep doing that with this bike and just letting it out too far, like with muscle memory, right? Because I'm flustered, you know. I'm not perfect and dexterous. Dexterity is not really something I'm normally known for, and this isn't, you know, this situation I'm in isn't helping. So that's why I keep stalling, right, in the low speed situations. That's all it really was, you know. I keep letting the clutch out a little too much, not enough gas. I'm so used to the GS. That's kind of what's happening here, right? Is like I know this isn't a GS. Like, come on, I'm not completely, you know, ridiculously stupid, but like the instinct is the GS instinct, and that is like so much torque, right? Not a lot of grip. Like when you're riding the GS off road, on a situation like this, oh my god, you have to be so gentle with the throttle and the clutch. Like, you can use some throttle if you're really good with the clutch, you know, vice versa. And the RPMs, of course, as well, if you're gonna do the clutch. But, oh, see there, that seemed a little sketchy for me. Not that bad. Like, if you're a good rider, sliding around a little bit, not a big deal. But for me, it's a little sliding. Like, oh, okay, that's a little scary. Gotta be careful, you know. See, you can see me kind of like moving along. For a second there I was, but then I held up at the thing, because it's not my bike. I didn't want to just like plow through the puddles, because I'm not the one washing this bike. You know what I mean? So I feel like it's a little unfair to the owner of the motorcycle to just plow through the puddles and stuff like it's my motorcycle, you know, or like I'm washing it. So here you go. This is the first example we're gonna get almost halfway through the video. Yeah. Actually, yeah.
One more.
Halfway through the video. Halfway through the video. So, and we are seeing our first like kind of cross traffic. Interesting. And now there's some more. We have a Jeep here, and we're pausing. I think, waiting.
All right.
No, it looks like we're. I don't know what's going on. I did not stop the video, so I guess we're just gonna keep going. See him spinning the tire. Again, I don't know. I could do that. I'm nervous to do stuff like that on this bike. I guess I'm just not that confident, you know, with my skills and my ability not to be an idiot and freak out or do something really stupid. Whoa, the hell? That seemed weird, right? Yeah. I didn't even say anything. I just stood up. It could just be nothing. Then camera tricks. I know I tried standing up a lot more. I was so sore after this because of how much standing I did, which wasn't a ton, but maybe even like 10 minutes, 15 minutes of standing was too much. I'm so weak. So I'll say this one thing, like I lost a lot of weight fast, and there's a downside to that, which is you lose a lot of muscle. So the amount of weight, like I could squat at 300 pounds. Like if you took away my own body weight and I put my muscle at almost 300 pounds into somebody who's 150 pounds, like yeah, they'd be like, you know, they would weigh more than 150 pounds at that point, right? And they'd be pretty strong. Not like, you know, power lifter, but they'd be able to squat, you know, a couple hundred pounds, no problem. They'd be able to squat a lot more than what I can now at you know, 190 pounds. And that's because my body, as it was, the only way to lose weight, right, is to force your body to consume itself, right, and burn itself for fuel. And the reason I'm phrasing it that way, which is a little different than like what you might have heard, where you say like you have to burn fat or whatever. Yeah, you do have to burn fat. That's the idea. The idea is to burn fat and only fat, pretty much, right? But that's not the reality of how your body works, or my body, whatever, works. And especially since I lost a lot of weight quick, you know, I was thinking to myself when I started, and even now, like, I'm too heavy. Like, where I am now is very unhealthy, and every day I continue to live at this weight is unhealthy. So I need to lose a lot of weight. I need to do it now, you know, like, look at me go, though. Damn, see, I'm having confidence. Look at how much confidence I have just coming up there. It wasn't very rocky, right? And I was able to carry some speed. And because I'm going uphill, I'm being forced to not slow down. Because if you lose your momentum going uphill like that, I mean, honestly, this bike does not have the grip to just get it back. I don't care who you are. When you're halfway up that, even that hill wasn't that steep, and even when you're halfway up that hill and you stop, you can't just go. Not on this bike, not with these tires. There's just no grip for that. So this is almost the end of the trail. Yeah, I mean, obviously, because we're more than halfway through. I was there on the GS. That's what I was telling him. Right where that intersection was, I stalled the GS there and like dropped it at a really weird angle. And coming up, there was like a trail to the right, like, and coming up that trail, which is somewhat steep, but not that steep. Yeah, I was so inexperienced. I had no idea what I was doing, even compared to where I am now, which is awful too. But that was like really even worse. So that was pretty funny. Then I wrote it back down. I had some of the video. It's like you can see me going down the hill. It's not that bad. It was just I'm just an idiot. Didn't know what I was doing. I was by myself too, and I didn't have a wristband, and I just got a traffic ticket, and I was like, oh my god, what's going on? I gotta get out of here. Get in trouble with the cops twice in a day, by myself, no idea what I'm doing. Way too much motorcycle, way too much confidence. But you can see me plowing up here pretty good. Like, this is what you have to do. I feel like this is safer than what I was doing before. I really, really think that this kind of pace here. I don't know how much faster. I could definitely go even a little faster, and I think it'd still be fine. Or maybe not too much faster, but definitely I can even go faster if I wanted to. But this speed's good, because now the bike is stable, and it wants to stay upright and go straight, and I have momentum. It wants to go. So as long as I don't hit anything gigantic, the bike is not going to deflect much to any one direction. Like if something knocks the handlebars off and like tilts the wheel in one direction or another, it doesn't matter, because as soon as I pass it, the wheel's just going to straighten itself out. I'm going to keep going straight. You know what I mean? So that's why this is good. But when you're going slow, obviously that's not how it works. I'm sure everyone knows this. I don't know. That's what's going on. I guess I'm saying the things I should have been saying to myself. You know, you got to go fast to keep the bike going. Even if like I'm looking, and I think the problem with this is I think I was, and maybe I'll look at it at this point. Now that I give myself some time, but I should have looked at it at the beginning, and I didn't realize at the moment or now really. I think I was looking like down too much. I'm not looking up. I think here maybe I don't even think here I'm looking up enough. I think I'm literally looking like maybe 5. I'm not looking far enough ahead. Maybe I'm looking like, I'm trying to give a reference, like I'd be looking at the mud puddle on the left, you know? Like as soon as it comes into focus a little bit on the camera, which that's too close. Like we can see so much further with our eyes in real life than with this very wide angle GoPro, you know, wide angle small sensor GoPro can show us in detail. Like, you know what I mean? Everything blurs out to infinity very quickly on this lens. I mean, you get very good depth of field. Don't get me wrong with the GoPro. I'm not trying to say it's like critique. It's just once things get out, you know, 20 or 30 feet from you, where you are, it's not so much it's out of focus. There's no detail. The lens and the sensor just don't pick up a whole lot. You get like the vague outline of it, which is fine, but that's why I'm using it as a reference. Stop ranting. You only have like another 40 minutes or 35 minutes to talk. What are you doing? Why are you getting off talking about cameras? I will say this is making my throat hurt a little bit. I have a lot more confidence coming back. You can definitely see it, right? I'm just... And there, right? I think that's a good example. Like, I'm not treating it like a racetrack. Like, right, I'm rolling on and like rolling off and like slowing down. Even though the road's straight and I can keep going, I'm kind of treating it like, hey, let's not go fast just because we can, kind of. Let's go at like a nice, easy pace. And again, I mean, for so many people, that's not going to be fun. Including, I think, if you haven't noticed, the guy who's in the blue, who's actually the owner of this bike. It's just, he's a lot more skilled in you know, what's the right word? Confident in his riding, that he's able to go, you know, at a much higher pace. And that's the pace he wants to go at. He doesn't want to go at the pace I want to go. Even which is like this pace right here. He doesn't want to go this fast, you know. He wants to go faster, which is fine for him. But it's a problem for us, right? Because it's a little annoying. It's not terrible, but my problem is I don't want to go at any pace. I hate to say it again. I'll keep reiterating. Like, even doing what I'm doing right now, I don't know if I want to do this again anytime soon. I know I'm not going to gain any skill or get better or anything. I don't know if this is for me. I hate to say it. Dirt biking, ATVing, off-roading, really.
Wait.
I don't know. I'm not saying it's not. I don't know if you're hearing me. So yeah, we stopped there. But I don't know if you're hearing me. Like, I'm not trying to say that, oh no, I'm not going to dirt bike ever again, or even, I don't know. I just don't know. I feel like I need to do some soul searching. It's just something that I just don't seem to mix with very well. And I'm old. Like, you know, I mean, being like a decent dirt biker, what does it matter to me? What does that really gain me besides? Yes, there are advantages. That's fun. It's definitely decent exercise. You know, you're out. Again, it's good recreation. The problems, I mean, it's dangerous. It's expensive. A lot of prep work, setup, teardown. I think the obvious thing to all the bikers who are, I'm sure, shouting at me this whole time, past minute, I'm kind of making you suffer on purpose. Of course, these skills do translate back onto the roads. In riding like this, doing this dirt bike stuff can save your life. So is it worth my, you know, joints and bones and stuff to potentially save my life, you know? So that's and I'm probably even phrasing it the way I just phrased it there. Hopefully I don't phrase it so clumsily or whatever in the future. Wow, I definitely slid there. That was pretty cool. I hope I don't phrase it so clumsily in the future, but like, I need to do some soul searching in that regard. I need to figure out, where I value my whole riding career in general. I'm not saying I want to quit riding, because I definitely do not want to quit riding motorcycles. It's just, it's hard for me to evaluate like exactly what makes it worthwhile to me, right? Because it's certainly a so I guess I'm using an example. I heard something like, try to think about activities you do or things you want to do or aspire to or need to do. Like, you are a person who does something. I don't want to do this. I do it. That's how I am. I don't know. The more I think about it, the more I don't know. I think I might have even said in the moment. It's just something gets me off. Like, am I a person who just rides motorcycles? Is that someone I would want to be? I don't know. Is that something I'd tell anyone that's a good thing to be? I don't know. I mean, what's good for you is good for you. But I wonder if an attitude like that is really healthy, specifically about motorcycles. Now, if it's about something else, like I'm a person who does not, consume something that I'm allergic to, or someone who does something related to, religion or perhaps health or fitness, like, anything like that, it seems a lot more positive. I can see it there, but I'm a person who rides motorcycles. It's something I do. I don't think, hey, I want to ride motorcycles. I do ride motorcycles. Like, I don't know. I don't know if that's the best attitude. And I think a lot of people who ride, and people I know who ride, might be thinking, like, what the hell are you talking about? Like, you ride a lot. Like, you are a person who rides. And I am a person who rides, obviously. But I mean, as weird as it sounds, I'm always kind of fickle about it, right? I always try to, I don't know. I always kind of fret about it beforehand and get really nervous about, like, should I ride? Is this, going to be the last time I ride? Like morbid stuff. And so am I a person who rides? I don't know. In a sense, yes, but in another sense, I feel like it's a little more complicated. And I try to, in one sense or another, like, try to decide for myself every time I ride, like, is it worth it for me to go out today, right? Like, am I okay with, like, the consequences I might face, is it worth the risk? I don't know, I don't know what the risk is. You might be fine, you might not be fine. It's, like, random, pretty much. You make your own luck in a big way. I'll give you that. Like, you go out and you do something really, really stupid. Your chances of, getting, severely injured or, mortally wounded are pretty high compared to someone who is really safe and rides really well and, does this, that, and the other to actively and passively improve their odds of getting home. But even that person who makes all the right decisions, does everything right, they still have a very real chance. It's a small but very real chance of dying out there on the roads. So, like, man, and that's what I'm thinking. Like, I'm going to be safe. I'm going to do everything right. And even with that considered, am I okay with it? Okay, great. And then add in my own, how much stupid stuff do I think I'm going to do today? How much stupid stuff am I willing to do today? Like, seriously, be serious with yourself. Try to at least be serious with yourself. Add that risk in. Are you still okay? Do you still think you're willing to take that much risk of, like, literally, having a problem? And then if you're still okay with it, I mean, yeah, for me, it's like, do it. Why not? It is what it is. Like, you made the decision for yourself to go ahead and ride and have fun, And I'm not talking, I feel like, to be very clear, this is not an international channel, but this is going on YouTube. And, like, maybe someone who's not from, freaking wealthy suburban area in the United States will understand is, like, we're riding for fun. None of us have to be doing this. This is not, there's no practical upshot to any of this. This is not a skill that will really, like, put food on my table or make my life better beyond pure recreation. And all that brings. So if you're riding for, a reason that, you know, will make your life better outside of riding, like, again, making you money or helping you, you know, have like way more time in your life for your family, or, you know, something along those lines, or like some kind of obligation. My God, and think what I'm saying about, am I a person who rides? This doesn't apply. This applies to, like, am I a person who rides for fun? So I just want to make that very clear, because I think it's important too, right? Like, I think we all have to understand that, like, context and assumptions are very, very important in the real world. The example I always learn, like, that might be one of the, like, biggest takeaways I got from college, which is funny. It's not so much that, oh, I was told that assumptions and whatever are very, you know, important in the real world. It's more like I have, like, a muscle memory and, like, a fear and, like, seeing what happens when you don't really understand that. Just from that, and I guess what I see in my life too, in my career now, doing what I do. When you make assumptions, which you're going to do as a human, but when you make assumptions without realizing that you made an assumption, right? Or you didn't adequately understand the depth or the consequences of the assumptions you're making, yeah, you can run into lots and lots of problems. Now I already forgot the context of this, and I can't go back. I can't rewind the video and do it in one take. I don't know how that works. I'm just recording into Premiere Pro, because I'm not a pro at Premiere Pro. I haven't spent a ton of time trying to figure out how it works. I'm just like, I think I need to do this, so I'm going to look up how to do this exact thing, and I do that, you know, and I chain all those actions around, and that's how I make these videos. Really, really, probably basic and backwards, and just not the way. I'm still super scared of passing people on dirt bikes. I noticed that. I'll take it though. Again, I'm just not that good. I could be more aggressive with passing, but I don't see the point. I would rather putt behind someone and, like, cruise around. I heard a really good phrase today too from someone I was riding with on a different ride. They were just saying, like, it doesn't really matter if you're out there riding, you're riding at least. And I think that does apply even if you're riding for, like, a job. If you're riding for a job, yeah, it kind of sucks. Like, I'm not talking about, like, a racer or motor journalist. Again, I'm talking about, like, somebody who, like, rides to and from work, or they're, like, riding deliveries on a motorcycle and just, you know, dangerous, busting your ass for not a lot of money. No, that's not cool. Like, riding's not gonna be pleasurable for you, probably. And even if your job it started out that way, if you do it long enough, it won't be. You know, it'll just be like it's just something you, like, have to do, right? And typically, things that you have to do consistently, it can be difficult to find joy in those things, right? It can become more of, like, a hassle. Like, there's some level of pleasure there resulting from it, but it's not, like, the same kind of thing as, like, a hobby, or, like, something like outside of work, you know, something that's not as much of a requirement. Like, you're doing something that's difficult for fun versus I'm doing something that's difficult or repetitive or whatever because it's, you know, putting food on the table or whatever. I guess that's where I was getting back to, was talking about, you know, the riding for fun versus not. I'm speaking out of my ass on half of that, of course, because I've never ridden for a job, and I don't know if that's something I ever would do. So, I've never driven for a job either. I have a lot of tickets. I don't think I could get the job, at least in America. They would look at my record and be like, what the hell, dude? Most of them are really old, but there's a couple still within 5 years.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we got a guy there, so now we're going to see some more. I'm going to say some stupid stuff to people. Because I'm an idiot. I don't know. I get flustered easily. I think that's another reason I'm thinking, like, am I someone who rides in the dirt? Right? Maybe I'll say it that way. Am I someone who rides in the dirt? No. Not really. Not right now. You know, maybe probably. But that's what I'm saying. It's such an absolutist view, and I just don't understand that specifically. When we're talking about such... I don't know if I'm going to use the right word here. I'm going to use the word complex, which is not, you know, a very specific word. You know, it doesn't have a very, very specific meaning in this context. Like, should I ride? Should I not ride? Like, there's so many things to think about, like, on a day-to-day basis, right? How am I feeling? Like, seriously, that's the, you know, I'm gonna rant now. If you're still in this video, I'm gonna try to drop some wisdom on you, and I'm probably gonna fail. Let's just go ahead and do it. Like, if someone asks you, do you want to ride? Or even if you've set up a ride, you're planning on getting on your motorcycle and riding for fun. Like, this is not something you're obligated to do to help yourself, help your family, you know, career. Again, you're doing this, you're leaving the safety of your house and getting on a motorcycle to ride on the public roads or the dirt or whatever, and putting yourself in a situation where there's a slim but real chance that you get hurt or killed, right? What should you think first, right? What actions would I take first, you know? And I think the first thing you need to ask yourself is, how do I feel? How do I truly feel? Am I awake? Am I alert? Am I sleepy? What about levels of stress? Is my mind racing about a million different things, like what's happening in my career, or what's happening in my personal life, what's happening with a significant other or a family member, etc., etc.? What's going on in my head? Am I able to take all those things that are making me stressed and just throw them away? Do I have the ability not to think about the things that are making me upset? If you can't throw those things away, should you be riding? I don't know. That's not an answer for me, but I won't. At least I'll do my best. If I'm super duper tired, again, I do not want to ride, because it's just not good. Your brain won't work, and it's so hard to gauge your fatigue levels in life. Like, it's like drinking. Honestly, I would really put it in being analogous to drinking in a way. Like, you feel when not when you've had like one beer, like when you go from stone cold sober to having like a beer or two, there's like, you can kind of tell you're drinking, right? You're drunk, unless you drink every day. But like, once you start drinking more than that, it's weird. Like, you should know that you're drunk and you're inebriated, but something's like, you know, wrong. Your brain's not working correctly, and you think that you're more cognizant and you're more alert and in the moment and able to do what you need to do better than you would be on like one or two beers. Like, you know you're not sober, but you think you're like fine. You think you're the same guy who just had one beer, and you're not, like, obviously, because you've had like 4 beers, you know, in the past 2 hours or something, and you're drunk. Like, you know, you're 4 or 5 drinks in, but it's weird. Like, you're not able to really realize how stupid you really are. You know what I mean? And I think that's similar to when you're asleep. Obviously, the feeling is different. I'm telling him I went down that, which I did. I went down a different one, but yeah, when you're sleepy, like you're cognitively and physically impaired in a way. Well, you are. You just straight up are. There's no in a way to it. Your reaction times are worse. Your ability to do fine motor controls are not as good. You know, this, that, and the other. And
oh, that's the one I wrote down. Huh?
Yeah, it's not that bad, but again, it's like 2 feet, so almost. Maybe like 18 inches. Still, 1.5. Whatever. Anyway, it's like almost the entire wheel I'm dropping down, like, very suddenly, because I'm an idiot. But it wasn't that bad. Anyway. Yeah, again, if you're not alert, it doesn't matter how skilled you are when you're riding a motorcycle. If you're not alert and in the moment, it doesn't, like, all your skills are out the window. You're like you might as well be someone else, you know? Because you're not there. You're not there to do what needs to be done to keep you, you know, alive and healthy. And the same with your bike, to keep your bike alive and healthy. He locked up.
One more.
He was trying to talk to me. I don't know. I didn't want to talk to him. I don't know why. I'm weird. I get this, like, fear of, like, social interaction a little. Like, right in the moment. And when you're on a bike, too, it's so easy for me, at least, to just, like, speed away. And just, like, not acknowledge them and be an asshole. It's not cool. You can see I have a lot of confidence, though. Anyways, let's get back to this. So, like, again, am I alert? Am I able to put things away? The next thing you should think about is, how about physical, like, condition? Like, is there anything going on? I don't don't even know how to explain it. Like, is just like anything weird happening, you know? And I'm saying think about it because say you have like a cold and you like should you like again and the person's asking you to go on like a 9 or 10 hour long ride. Is that really the best idea? Sure, maybe you're not exhausted or tired right now, but you're a little sick. Like, okay, great, but maybe that might mean that in 9 or 10 hours, or even say you're 4 hours away into the ride, and you're 4 hours from home, or whatever, 3.5 hours from home. Like, holy shit! And you're exhausted because you know you're kind of sick. Like, okay, yeah, you might not die, but you're increasing the odds of it happening, right? You're upping your risk levels. And for what? Is that going to be a good time? Is riding back, doing this ride going to like be this epic thing that's going to like change your life for the better? Come on, probably not. So again, I'm saying like maybe in that case, I would say personally like, okay, maybe I don't want to ride. I'm too tired, or I'm literally like I'm too tired, or I'm stressed. I'm literally stressed. Like there's something wrong. Like one thing I'm going to say this about two things, like kind of motorcyclisms that I really do not agree with at all. Okay, and one of them is you never see a motorcyclist in front of a therapist's office. That's complete bull. Definitely happens. I've done it, and I know other people do it. That's all I'm going to say. And the other one is, riding relieves stress. And this, I'm not going to say that's not true, but I just don't like it because it's almost worse than not being true is that it's partially true and misleading. Yes, riding can relieve stress. Doing this is what I'm doing right now is definitely, it's both causing and relieving stress in my body, right? I'm like able to like do a physical activity that's really also like causing like fight or flight and like all these emotions in me and this and that and the other, right? While I'm also doing a physical activity, so it's great. It's actually pretty healthy, like really healthy. But if you are stressed going into this activity, and again, I'm not talking about fight or flight or the kinds of stresses you feel here riding the bike. I'm talking about like, am I missing a payment on my mortgage? I don't know, for example, or like, man, who's gonna get the kids? Am I gonna lose my job and lose my, again, like if you, my family member, did they, I'm so sad that someone, died or left me. Again, all these really, really morbid here, but like, again, these really serious life events or anything, like something that even you perceive as very serious in the moment. Is something like that actually happening that you like don't want, that you've tried without riding, just sitting around doing your thing? Like, can you take a 2-minute walk and then clear your head? If you can't, is riding really going to help? Again, I'm not saying don't ride. I'm just saying, again, think about it. Is riding really going to help you? Because if you're out there on your bike and you're still in that mindset of, oh my God, what about my house? That's not a good place to be. Like, let's be honest with ourselves. You're not focusing on getting home safe. You don't really care that much about getting home safe because you might not have a home in this particular situation, right? That's a scary situation to be in, let's be honest. That's when the throttle opens. That's when, the knee hits the ground or, elbows start dragging, whatever. That's when bad things on the road start happening. On the track, on the dirt, whatever. When you just... I call it like a form of the red mist. It's like you're going fast and you're searching for speed, but you're not thinking about the fundamentals. You know what I mean? You're not getting it through proper technique, but you're getting it through like pure aggression or like a high level of aggression. That's super bad. You don't want to be doing that. I feel like if you're a high level professional, this is a dangerous mindset to be in. It can definitely cause problems. It has and does continuously, but it's also won races in the past as well. But we're not professionals. We're not racing. So this kind of mindset can only cause pain to you and cause problems in your life. Going 190 miles an hour on the interstate, it's not the most dangerous thing in the world if you do it in the right context, but it's stupid. You don't need to be doing that. Going out and just, again, like attacking corners and really like riding deep, you know, breaking deep into like blind corners on the street, or just, you know, riding like a dumbass on the twisties, ripping the throttle wide open all over the place and going as fast as you can, like really, you know, trying to push it, trying to get better at riding fast, like quickly, you know, like doing stuff like that. I mean, yeah, I don't even know. Like, oh, what I'm saying is, I'm just complaining about risk this whole time. I mean, it's safe and negative Nancy, but again, I mean, if these are the things you want to do, we all take the risk when we go out there and ride on the road. So some dumbass is going to ride his motorcycle 190 miles an hour into us and kill us. Like, it's super rare. Like, you know, that's like a once every so often thing, but like, it's still, you take those risks, and you're more likely to get hit by, you know, Grandma or, you know, Toyota, but still. Yeah, I'm here ranting. It's honestly pretty late. It's Sunday night. I rode today and haven't slept so well. Complaining, making excuses. Look at me. I'm just a freaking negative Nancy. I'm sorry, guys. I will have to apologize. Getting into the sorries, but like, it was hard for me. That's why I waited a week to make this video, and just been waiting in general. Losing weight's, you know, I mean, I've never been like an okay person, right? Like, where I'm just like happy-go-lucky, like yada yada yada. Yeah. And some people can do that. They definitely can do that, and that's good for them. When you're watching YouTube, I hope everyone's aware, right? Of course, when you're watching YouTube, that's not the people. Like, anyone who's like really making money on YouTube, there's a sense that that is them and they're being genuine, but you can't be. You have to have a mask. You have to make a shell. It's just the only way. At least a certain extent. You have to compartmentalize. And of course, I do that too. I'm not saying I'm better than these people, because I do the exact same thing. I try to act like you know me and, you know, everything, blah, blah, blah. And if you know me in real life, I feel like, in a sense, you do know me, because the words I'm saying and the things I'm doing, obviously, will have more context for you than someone who has never met me in real life. Or maybe just met me a few times or something, and you don't know me all that well. It's not really a big deal. I try not to obviously say anything that is too personal, and I more mean in a sense that, like, yeah, I don't want to be attacked. I don't want to be trolled too hard. I think some people can put up with it. It's like it's a cost of doing business of having notoriety on the internet. But I don't think that's really what I want. I've said before, I do not want to monetize this channel. I'm not going to monetize this channel. I say that over and over again. I'm not going to monetize the channel, and I'm not. I don't care, like, if I got 5 million views right now and they were going to offer me a ton of money. I'm not doing it. I'm not monetizing. YouTube can kick rocks. They can delete all my videos. They're gone forever. I mean, none of this stuff's really all that important. But I feel like YouTube put some ads on my videos. I mean, I agree. I feel like YouTube, it's okay that they put ads on my videos. Like, it sucks. They're hosting this for free. If they don't put ads on my videos, I mean, it's not like they're losing a ton of money, but they're hosting like a multi-gigabyte file and then serving it up to anyone who asks in multiple formats all over the world at pretty good rates, because this thing's definitely cached in multiple places over the world. And like, they're doing it for free for hundreds of videos that I have uploaded, right? Or I don't know if it's hundreds, maybe like 150 or 200 videos or whatever it is at now. Yeah, they need to make a couple bucks. Like, Jesus Christ, guys. I know no one I've heard has complained about this, but it's just what it is. Oh, so you see me pausing there. Back to the video. I know now, right? This is the sign. Like, I know now that. I know now that, like, I need to keep my momentum up, and I want to be able to go like the speed I want to go without having to slow down for anyone ahead of me. And you can see me still going kind of slow, and I feel like I'm going a little too slow, but I'm not really sure. I see. I'm going faster here because now I see that's like uphill. I guess I was trying to even build up more room, which is good that I waited more, because wow, I'm already right on his butt. Right, and you can see me going. Yeah, you can see me going a lot faster here. And it's smooth, right? Even though I'm hitting these rocks that were really bumpy when I was going slow, it's like go a little faster, you know, sit back or even stand up, really, you know. suck it up and just make the pass. I'm like, I'm not stopping on this hill. We're doing this. I could have started again from this hill. It's not that steep, but at this point I'm just like, let's get this done. And then another vehicle's, set up here. It's so difficult. I think one thing I said before, another philosophical point, is like riding is very unfair. Sometimes big mistakes in really bad situations. Look at that! Oh my God!
How did I do that? I don't know.
Like there's a big drop off there too. Like that's kind of scary. But see, that wasn't really. I wouldn't call that a big mistake. But sometimes you make huge mistakes, do really stupid things, and it's not punished at all. And other times you do everything right, or you just make a very small mistake, and that's it. That's the last thing you ever do. And everywhere in between, it's just there's not a level of morality or conscience to what's happening out here. Like this is just like pure nature, survival of the fittest, right? Situation. And thankfully we're look how much at the edge of that drop off I'm riding. Like good Lord. This is what I'm saying. Like I just don't know, man. Like it's just ridiculous. Like I don't want to fall off that ledge because I'm riding on a dirt and I do something stupid. Like I am an idiot and I make a mistake and I fall off a cliff. Like that's what I'm worried about. Like that literally, like, oh, just don't be bad. Well, I'm like fighting the dirt. I think maybe that's my problem. I don't know. I feel like I'm fighting, the dirt. Whereas with the road, I feel like I'm just, enjoying the road. I'm just there with it. Even if it's a very technical, bumpy, whatever. I'm never fighting the road. I'm always just there with it. One with the road. Not one with it. I don't like that phrase either, but like, I'm working. It's almost like I can work with the road. There's like a level of understanding that I have that makes it easy enough for me to kind of relax enough. But here I'm definitely, maybe I'm physically tense, but I'm definitely mentally tense. I'm like at high alert, I'm working my brain as hard as I can to try to stay alive doing this. I can't relax. And I don't know if that's a situation or an activity I'm too great at either. And I want to do a track day, but I feel like if I do a track day, that's going to be the same results. And we'll see if that happens or not. But I'm just going to feel like, yeah, this is a hyper skill-based activity where like you have big rewards for doing, more extreme things, but at the same time the risks are so high, when you start pushing things. I'm not saying this is super risky. It's really not that risky, but like you can make it so much more risky. Imagine if I was trying to do this faster, and say I was much more skilled, and say right here I'm probably riding at like 60 to 70% of my skill level minimum, maybe even a little higher at sometimes. Not that I know it, but I'm like putting myself in positions where I shouldn't by mistake. So yeah, I'm riding at like 60 to 70%, maybe even 80% a couple times by like an idiot, and like I got out of that mindset, And all right, say I'm doing that at this pace. Now say I'm much more skilled, and now I'm riding at 60, 70, maybe 80% on this trail with more skill. That's more dangerous. It just is. I'm going to say right now, and that's a situation I don't ever want to find myself in, where I'm just like really good and just like kicking ass and taking names. And like the problem is, bad things can happen. Like you can find yourself face to face with another bike or a truck or a deer or something, and it's just not cool. I'm rolling down with the bike off because, I guess I stalled. There's no way I turned it off. And I saw a guy. Oh God. See, I think at this point I forgot. I probably should like rev the engine a couple times before I. Oh wow. See, again, I'm like heading straight off that cliff. Like I got scared and stopped. Right. I didn't know if I would have been able to keep the bike. Like, see those rocks? They're kind of big. And so I'm worried again about like a deflection pushing the rear wheel and just putting me in a position where I do something I can't handle and I just make a mistake and send the bike off the cliff over there on the right, on the left, the right, LOL. These are the things you have to ask yourself. See, before I did this ride, I was just like, yeah, I'm willing to take the risk. I'm willing to give this a try. I knew Tasker's Gap was like this, and I did it anyway. This one time, I just don't know if I want to keep, rolling the dice, because I have not gotten away clean from dirt biking. Like, if I stopped right now, I definitely, I took some lumps doing dirt biking, more than I have in other, activities in my life. Yeah. I don't feel like I need revenge, and I don't feel like I want to quit. I just don't know the right way forward for me. I don't know if it is just riding every so often, or getting doing something in the dirt, or taking more classes, or quitting altogether, and even not riding in gravel, and not riding at all. I don't know. I don't know what the right way forward is right now. Or maybe I never will. I probably won't, because that's just life, right? It's always changing. Your needs and your desires are always going to shift. Especially as you achieve your goals or have them, become out of reach for one reason or another. It's like, yeah, what you want is going to change. If you get that badass bike, your goal's going to shift, and then maybe you want to ride at a certain place or do a certain thing, or you're going to expect certain reactions. But if you achieve those, or they start to become implausible or slip away for one reason or another, right? Of course, now you want something else. Why am I saying this? Everyone knows this. Believe and achieve. I'm taking it. See, I'm going a little. I'm just nervous because these bigger rocks, I don't want to hit them at speed. I am really nervous about that. I'm going to get thrown around on the bike. And again, I'm going to do something like a whiskey throttle, or hit the brake by mistake, or just do something stupid, when I get thrown around on the bike, and then ride off the side of the road or something. So that's why I'm scared to go fast through these rocky parts. And again, I feel like I really would want to ride. I'll say it. I guess now I've talked it out a little bit. We're at the very end of this video, so 3 more minutes. I can't believe it. I started ranting. I can't stop. Anyway, I mean, I wish there was like a professional I could take on some stuff like this and have them really, I don't know, give me some kind of instruction or tips or something. What should I want to feel? What do I want to feel? What don't I want to feel? I don't know. It's just difficult. The terrain is not easy. How fast should I be going, like, through this stuff? Like, what about the clutch? Like, that's the real problem. Doing this off-roading stuff without a lot of clutch practice is hard for me, and I don't know. I just don't know if I want to keep doing the off-roading, man. It's just ridiculous. It is ridiculous. I mean, it's ridiculous in a good way, but that doesn't mean it's good for me all the time, And I certainly don't want to discount the risks of riding on the road, which I wasn't before. Well, thank you all for, coming. I mean, this was a really long video. I can't believe I did this all in one take. It's like pretty ridiculous for me to do something like this. I think there's a very mild view that's like, okay, here coming up very soon. And then just a couple more minutes of the video. I think there's some conclusions there to be drawn. I think they're pretty obvious about how, again, I always try to think about my riding, and like, I don't just mean like the actions I take on the bike, but when I decide to ride, why I decide to ride, the mentality I try to have while I'm riding. Because all those things, while they may not be directly influencing like the decisions you make, they can certainly cause subtle changes, right, in your mindset, the things you value, the things you find important. And then there's, I think more insidiously are definitely your ability to have strong reaction times and to stay calm, not be tense. That's so important when you're out riding, especially when you're doing more athletic riding like this, or trying to go fast. Oh my gosh, it's over. All right, guys, you're gonna have to think about your riding.